and one that had not been so brilliant to play either. We only batted .279 as a team. We set a series of stair-step type goals. The first is to qualify for sectionals. Based on our 18-game schedule, that meant we had to win 8. We wanted to finish at least 500. That meant we had to win 9. We wanted to win our league. That meant we simply had to win more than the other guys did. And then we wanted to take our chances in the sectionals, which looked pretty good. Then we got told we'd be playing Class C instead of Class D. We didn't expect that. We knew where Richfield Springs was. They were 2-time defending section champions. And Rome Catholic had been groomed for 3 years to win this year's sectional championship. And we set all our goals on beating those 2 squads. Now we had to add a 5th goal. In order to be seeded in Class C, with your record that you compiled over the season, you had to play at least 4 C games. We had 5 scheduled. So here we go. I told the boys to meet these rather lofty goals, we would have to work. We would have to work. We'd have to work. We have to swing bats continuously. We found ways to swing bats in 6 different stations in practice. We could do an entire practice and do nothing but bat. We also had to field. So we fielded until they were sick of it. And then we fielded some more. We cut our errors from 4 per game to less than 2 per game. We turned 10 infield double plays, which in my 26 years of varsity baseball has been our record. We won the Morrisville tournament on April 26th with a rain-soaked win over Class C Morrisville and another over West Canada in what could only be described as a mighty quagmire. It was not a field fit to play baseball. We just kept playing baseball. That made our record 8-0. We'd qualified for sectionals. We'd also, as a result of wins over Westmoreland and West Canada earlier in the season, completed our 4 games that we needed to play to qualify to get ourselves seated where we belong based on record. Our league rivals for the crown would turn out to be Richfield, and then surprisingly enough, Old Forge and RCH. We defeated Richfield twice. We split with Old Forge, losing our worst performance of the season, 13-9. But then we no-hit them the second time around, knocked them out of the league possibilities, and then beat RCH 8-0 and 14-1 on May 17th to capture the league crown. This would be a little ironic because RCH would later become the Class C Section 3 champions, and we beat them by a total of 22-1, but we would have to go to Class C. Our team batting average was raised from that lowly 270 the year before to 380 in league play, 365 overall. I'd like to introduce my players to you. Freshman Chris Pate, Brian Weigel, Matt Shrika, who performed very admirably for us when pressed into action early in the season due to missing players. Josh Lamb, who hit 270 for us in 13 games. Sophomore Jim Sobrato, who was our starting first baseman, hit 216 in the season, but he had a 478 on-base percentage. Justin Willandon, our second baseman shortstop, hit 313 in league play. Eric Rothsteiner, a catcher, Todd Allen, center fielder, and a little pitching. They batted 1-2 in the lineup. Their job was to get on. Todd batted 485 with a 659 on-base percentage. Eric batted 381 with a 709 on-base percentage for the season, and they scored 71 runs out of the team's 223, which is a total of 1/3 of our total run output. Hit 267, played right field for us, 433 on-base percentage for the season. Tyler Marshall had a 6-0 pitching record, also hit 438 and 630 on-base percentage. Lastly, the seniors, Brian Ingalls, 1-1 pitching, 313 batting average, played second base, third base, pitched, was a catcher if we needed him, 527 on base percentage. Brandon Allen, left field, 352 batting average, 573 on base percentage. And Ryan Bates, 6-1 pitching. Our shortstop, 528 batting average, and 729 on base percentage. Our record overall was 10-2. We were 10-2 in the league, 16-3 overall. The team batted .380 in league play, .365 overall. The pitchers recorded an earned run average of 2.70 in league play, 2.84 overall. We ended up with a 1-1 record in the sectionals. We thumped Cooperstown, was last year's finalist, and then we ran into a perennial power in Section 3, Class C, which is Little Falls, and we lost 5-0. 2003 Center State champion.
Next up, boys track.
Robert Cord, Justin Morrissey, and Cody Allen. Nice job, guys. The other half is back now. Better half. Okay, first we'll start with All-Stars. These were already announced in the fall. First we'll start with the honorable mentions. Todd Allen and Eric Rothbeiner. Next, we had 3 people named to the second team. Second team offense, Matt Dunham. Here. Second team defense, Ryan Bates and Justin O'Lannon. We had 3 individuals named to the first team. First team defense, Brandon Allen. First team offense, Matt Klin, Eric Latendras. Now for outstanding linemen. These awards were all voted on by the team at the end of the season, and these are their choices. Outstanding lineman played on both sides of the ball, offensive right guard and defensive end. He was a leader on the offensive line, trapping and pulling around the end when we needed some speed and a lead blocker. At defensive end, he had 22 tackles, 1 sack, and recovered 2 fumbles. This year's outstanding lineman is Ryan Bates. Outstanding defensive player. This individual started linebacker for 4 seasons. This year he led all defensive players on the team with 57 tackles, 1 sack, and recovered 1 fumble. He's been a stable force in the middle of our defense for the last few years. This year's outstanding defensive player is Brandon Allen. Outstanding offensive player. This individual averaged 19 yards every time he touched the ball. He had 115 yards rushing and caught 22 passes for 469 yards. Also scored 9 touchdowns. He accounted for 1/3 of our total offense during the season. This year's outstanding offensive player is Eric Latendras. Most improved player. This year the team selected 2 most improved players. Both of them improved immensely during the season. One at running back and one on the line. By the end of the season, both were playing and doing very well. We look forward to having them again in the upcoming season. This year's most improved players are Matt Klin and Jim Sobrato. Most valuable player. This award should not be a big surprise to anyone associated with the team. It was close to a unanimous vote at the end of the season. I've already talked about his offensive talents. Defensively, he was also second on the team in tackles with 33 and had 5 interceptions. He was our punter and our kick returner, and seldom did he ever come off the field during a game. He's probably one of the best offensive receivers I've coached in the years that I've done this. And he just knew how to get the ball when it was put up in the air for him. When he was involved in a play, good things usually happened. This year's MVP.
Our first one had a 381 batting average, a desire to learn, improve, and succeed, and most of all, a desire to help the team in any way that he can. This year's award winner has displayed that team character. Most improved, voted for. He struck out 78 guys in 53 innings pitched. Primates. Ryan was also the Bulls Player of the Week after having completed that no-hitter.
Boys track. Danielle Rash. Danielle Anderson. The closing prayer.
Before Brandon comes up, I would just like to recognize Mrs. Micah. I think this night wouldn't happen without her.
Thank you for the blessing, thank you for the blessing you have bestowed on the Oriskany Athletics this evening. Please continue to bless our athletes and coaches as they look forward to another successful year. Finally, bless our dreams and give us strength to overcome the more difficult obstacles that lie ahead. Amen.